Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HD Gundam Harute Final Battle version, or Final Mission version. Now the reason why I just mentioned Final Battle version is that that's actually what's written on the box and even on the manual. I usually hear this usually referred as the Final Mission version, but as you can see, oddly enough, they mentioned the Final Battle version. Of course, maybe it could be just that, you know, it was a fan-based term, or who knows, but still, we finally got this specific version. Now, I would like to mention there is a Final Battle version of the Zabanya as well. Of course, the only changes for Zabanya is that it got more bits, as far as I know. More extra shield bits and more individual bits. Well, of course, not all 14. So once again, I did not get the Zabanya version because I already own the retail version, and I was already satisfied with that kit. So yeah, the Harute, for example, number one, there was a huge change, which is the legs, and number two, I did want to try out this kit in HD format, but every time I would try to get this, it would be always sold out. So which is why I thought this was a good opportunity for me to try this kit out. Alright, so before, I would like to mention that this kit has arrived yesterday, and I built it last night while being about 60 to 70-ish% drunk. So there are some errors I made on this kit, but nothing broke, luckily. But yeah, so do be aware of that aspect. Anyway, so as usual, let's go over the components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the main mobile suit itself, the Gundam Harute. Although I would like to mention that I have made it in the Marute System version mode, so which means the head sculpt or the head color or certain areas might look a little bit different from the retail version. So that's that. And then here, let's go over the stuff that you are supposed to get. Number one, we get all the weapons. So number one, we get the, I forgot the exact term, but I believe these are what's called like GN sword rifle, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is called the GN sword rifle. So you get two of them, obviously. So one of the errors I made is that, so looking at the sticker sheet, obviously we had these green stickers here, which were actually originally for the GN sword bits. So the scissor bits. So yeah, they were supposed to be here, but what I did was that I colored the green area that's supposed to be stickers using a metallic green Gundam marker, which turned out okay. Now apparently, so with that in mind, I automatically thought this part had to be green as well, but apparently no. According to the sticker sheet, you're supposed to apply these gray stickers on here. So I did make an error, but once again, it doesn't look that bad, so I might just leave it like that. So yeah. So once again, as you can see, you can open up to make it into the scissor modes as well, and then here we have it as a sword mode. But at the same time, you can also pop out a peg here to hold it like a gun. So that's pretty good. So you get two of those, and those were normal. But for the GN scissor bits, these are only included in this specific P-Bandai Final Battle set. So keep that in mind. I believe the regular version does not give this out. And as you can see here, we have the stickers. I did use most of the stickers here. The red one is obviously for the transformation cockpit section area-ish going on mode there. Here is the ones that I was supposed to apply. These round ones are supposed to go onto the GN scissor bits right over here. But once again, it's not a flat surface, so I decided not to apply it. And once again, I forgot to mention, on the other side here, we have a peg. So these are actually originally for... so you can't, there's no exact way to display that, but so what the manual mentions is that, sorry about all the paper rattling noises, but as you can see here, they tell you to get there's a specific joint or adapter here that's included in the Action Base 4, so you can connect these. So good luck finding that. So once again, I don't think I'll be displaying this. So my opinion regarding always these funnel type weapons, GM bit type weapons, or any wireless weapons was that it's really difficult and really impractical to display these at the same time. So not that I hate those type of mobile suits or weapons, it's just that in terms of gunpla, it's not really easy to display them. So yeah. And once again, these green ones are supposed to be the blade sections right over here. And then, yeah, I'll try to point out the other stickers here. So for the head, obviously we had two options to go with the regular Gundam Harute style head, or number two, we go with the Marute System, which obviously the one I decided to go with. Alright, so we've seen that, and obviously, other than the sticker sheet, they do actually give you an action base. Now, usually, if we were to get this action base, we would get 1, 2, 3, and 4 pieces clamped on together. But for this one, this kit being a little bit tall because of the new legs, they do give you an extra extender here. So if you want to use this stand, you can definitely use this as well. Alright, so before we go over articulation or anything else, let's go over the leftover parts. So number one, we get some leftover polycaps. Nothing too special about that. And here is plate number A. So all these leftover parts are usually just meant for, most of them are just meant for either number one, the original legs, or number two, the regular Gundam Harute style head. So here we have the original thrusters for the legs, and here we have the piece to go with the, if you were to make the normal head as well. And if you were to make the normal head, I believe you have a clear piece right over here, so you have that leftover part. Alright, and here, this is pretty much going to be a double plate. So we have B, C, and D 1, and then B, C, and D 2. So these are exactly the same. So I'm only going to show you guys one. So here is the C1 plate. So we have the original feet part. So yeah, we have the original feet. And for the B plate, B1, here we have the original leg parts. And then finally on D as well, we have the original leg / joints here. So we have these parts as well, and then this part as well. So I've checked the manual for the regular version, and if you want to, for some reason, you are able to make the normal legs with this. Of course, you're gonna have to disassemble all of these to use the side parts. But once again, it is technically possible to make the regular legs and then the regular head if you want to do so. But once again, you're going to need to disassemble some parts. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the components. Let me get them off the stand and see what we got. Alright, so once again, I do not own the regular HG Gundam Harute, so I won't be able to make any comparisons, but I am able to make reviews out of them. Alright, so as you can see, as I mentioned, I went with the Marute System mode head, and definitely I do like the design. So let me just, I'm not sure if I can pop it out, but let me just pop it out and see and show you guys. So here we have the head. I'm really surprised that they actually gave us all three sets of eyes. So number one, we have the regular middle eyes as stickers. The other ones you see on the top here and the bottom are not stickers. Those are all color separated pieces. So I am very surprised with these as well. The only sticker here is the eyes in the top head section right over here. This black piece, black sticker. So yeah, very impressed as well. So for now, let me just slap that back on. Okay, so once again, while building this, there were some interesting aspects. Number one, the chest piece right over here is only held by a single ball joint. That is definitely a first time seeing such part. And then here, as you can see on the joints here, the joints are popping out upwards instead of usually going sideways. So definitely an odd choice, but once again, because of this aspect, and once again, I do apologize for me handling this kit because it just has such an odd form factor. It's really hard for me to just, touch this kit. So alright, so the shoulders are able to go forward and backward a lot because of the ball joint system and the fact that it's actually facing upwards like that. So you definitely have a much more fluid movement going on here. And then obviously the arms. Now in this case, I'm going to say the arms can't really go 360 because of the structure. If you were to do that, you're going to have to like move your way around and then rotate in a different specific angle like this. So not going to be easy. But other than that, the arms surprisingly can go 90 degrees to the side, and then you still have your 360 twist on the lower section. And then the bend wise, you go more than 90 degrees here. And once again, here's one of those stickers, and then on top of the sticker we apply a clear piece right over here. So still the typical double O style joints, and that's that. Okay, and now the body, definitely the body is an odd articulation, but we do have a semi ab crunch going on here, so there is a top body movement on its own. But once again, it's really hard to move around because there's a lot of stuff blocking the way. But there is the articulation there. I will mention that there is articulation there. It's just that it's because of all the collision going on here, it's not really easy to move around the kit. So yeah. So that's that. Now let's get the back section right over here because there's a lot of stuff going on here. So here on the back we have all the parts for the transformation here. These orange sections are all color separate pieces. The only stickers here is, surprisingly, as you can see, are these green stickers right over here. And then these parts on the back here, while they are extremely large, they are pretty articulated. So once again, they can go forward and backward like that, and then you can you can rotate them so that they can face forwards, which is actually as seen in multiple games and even in the anime as well. So these are also works as cannons as well. So yeah. And then we have these parts that can flip up. Oh, this is more for the transformation. And just for the sake of the review, let me if I can pop this out. There we go. I'm gonna pop this out because it just takes too much space here. So let's look at it like this. So here we have this part, which we have a clear piece here, but on the inside, oh, sorry about that. In the inside, we have the red sticker, the metallic red sticker. So even though you might, do a sloppy job on the sticker here, the clear piece will get the job done. So no big deal here. So, and this even looks like this can be just its own vehicle, to be honest. It looks pretty good if you ask me. And here is that main connection that goes onto, not onto the back, surprisingly. I always thought it was onto the back, but it's actually onto the back of the waist section, to be honest. So that's a interesting gimmick here. And since we're on the back section, let me just mention a few things. Number one, there is a back skirt, and these are all individually connected using these ball joints. Once again, not exactly ideal, but yeah, these tend to pop off a little bit easily if you're not careful. But yeah, they do move, but yeah, they don't move as much as you think. Now, let's go over the waist in the front section here. Now, without the backpack, definitely looks a little bit empty here, but still, oh well. So the front section here, we have a front skirt, but once again, it's a very tricky front skirt. I do applaud them for doing all these color separations, the red, white, and orange. It's very well done. But once again, it's really hard to move because of these gigantic, how should I say, knee pads or knee sections. So yeah. So let's just get into the legs right away. So the way how the legs work is that from the original build, so from the original side parts to the lower section here is exactly the same, but basically you get this giant extended version of the leg. So you get these giant parts that connects to the side, and so basically this entire thing is supposed to be the lower leg here. So here we have the side here. We get a giant new parts of the lower leg. So, which is huge, but once again, let's see its articulation. So because of the front skirt, I'm pretty sure it won't be able to do a kick. Yeah, it's kind of blocking the way, and let's say if I were to move it, I could slightly move it more, but once again, the giant knee sections here is actually getting in the way. It's colliding with, believe it or not, with the main body and the shoulder section. So how often do you see that? But once again, these aren't really meant to do any kicks, so it does make sense at the same time. So going backwards, you can move it pretty well backwards because we have the moving back skirt and there's less stuff blocking the way. Bend wise, oops, something just popped out. Bend wise, we get a pretty decent bend when you think about it. So I think if it weren't for this orange piece, it could go a little bit more, but still it works. So well, job well done. And you would think there would be more moving parts here, but no, that's pretty much it. And here we have more GN drives on the bottom. Yeah, this thing is just massive in general. And once again, here we have a sticker piece here, 2 gray parts area. Gray parts, and I believe there was another round sticker that's mostly on the inside, so you won't be able to see it on here. So there are some stickers, but some stickers are kind of hidden away because of the parts. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. So obviously we have a very large leg that even has some, we do have the side swivel, but the main connection here is on a ball joint. So going to the side, once again, because of the joint here, it won't allow you to go to the side 90 degrees that much. So yeah, we have these gigantic legs. Now these legs are not really meant for walking around. These are meant for space, for floating around. So obviously, with that in mind, there are some parts that are going to be less articulated or less movement here. So the whole point is to make it faster and float around. All right, so we've seen the basics of a kit. So other than the base kit, the new parts being the legs and the new head part, so I think they did a pretty good job. Now I'll be right back with a few demonstrations, and we will call it a day. Okay, I'm back. So here I have the weapons, one in the sword mode, the other one in the scissor mode. So I was trying to do some sort of like a charging pose going on here. So with everything on the kit, so you basically need to reposition the backpack a lot, especially these big binders slash cannons going on here. You definitely need to reposition them in the suitable area so that you can actually make some space for the legs to go backwards going on here. So, and I highly suggest, instead of using this action base, I highly suggest you invest on a proper, Robot Tamashi style action base, or anything, a Tamashi Nation's action base, because you're going to need a moving joint on the action base. So definitely recommend it. So yeah, everything works out pretty well, but once again, this kit, I will mention that every time I try to touch this kit, it is really hard to touch around because, number one, I can't make it stand on its own. Number two, there's a lot of moving parts here, so every time I try to touch this, I need to be considerate on what area I'm touching. Anyway, so yeah. So I'll be right back with the second demonstration, and then on the third one, I'll be right back with the transformation. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm back. So here we have like the full burst pose going on here. Once again, the back binders here, or cannons or containers here, they are very well articulated. So I had zero problems doing this pose at the same time, and yeah, these were actually pretty fun to build. So I would like to mention how the articulation works here. So number one, the main part that mostly moves here. So here the first connection point here, it's actually done by a peg here. So you have zero issues in here, and then the cannon itself here is connected by a ball joint. So there are multiple ways to move this, but once again, most of the time when you're moving this, it's mostly the entire joint here, piece that's moving here using the peg system right over here, which is also connected to a polycaps, which is why we have a very nice movement range going on here at the same time. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the posing, so I'll be right back with the transformation, and we will call it a day. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the transformation here. So I was kind of surprised how simple the transformation was. All you needed to do was to fold the shoulders upwards, flip up the chest piece, and then other than that, you just need to like open up all the folded parts on the backpack and you're good to go. So I was really surprised how simple the transformation was. And the fact that I do like the aspect where you can attach the weapons onto the side here to make it look like wings, and then you can also extend these parts out for extra detail going on here. So it was definitely fun doing the transformation here. And I think because of the legs here are now much more longer, I think the overall length has been increased as far as I know. Now in here it is suggested to use this action base to, instead of like this facing upwards, now you can actually do it something like this, because once again the connecting port is still the same. And one thing that the Tamashi Nation action bases kind of lack issue is that there is this big joint here, and that does kind of make up some space, so you can't really go there in straight, so you need to like spread out the legs a little bit to connect. But other than that, yeah, I'm actually pretty well satisfied with the way how this looks. And yeah, this should be facing upwards, sorry about that. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. So the transformation was extremely simple. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, I did not purchase the Zabanya Final Battle version because I was already satisfied with the retail. But for this one, even let's say if I did even have the HD Harute and still was satisfied, I think I would have still tried this out because of the unique form factor of the extended legs going on here. So, but once again, if there's one warning or kind of one advice that I would like to mention, is that you shouldn't be expecting like amazing articulation on these legs, because once again, these are not your practical type of legs. They have a whole different purpose in terms of the mechanical reasons. So just be aware of that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. Thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive HD Gundam Harute Final Battle version. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.